Hello everyone, I'm H2Acon from Online Knights, and this is Mass Effect Factions, the series where we break down the various races and groups in the Mass Effect trilogy, obviously with some spoilers. We split each episode into 4 sections: history, anatomy, military, and culture. This is episode 16, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Drell. To start with, history, the backstory of the Drell up until the start of the games. The Drell emerged from Rakana, a barren planet covered by deserts, and home to mostly insect and reptile species. The Drell achieved mechanization by around 1400 CE, and saw a period of unprecedented industrial growth. However, they didn't realize just how much environmental damage they were causing, until it was too late. The reckless rate of Drell industrialization took an enormous toll on the already unstable environment of Rakana, and with the population exploding to over 11 billion, the scarce natural resources of the planet quickly dried up. By that point, the environmental damage had become irreversible, and Rakana had begun to spiral into lifelessness as depleted soil and acidic oceans killed off the planet's plant life. The Drell had not yet developed spaceflight, and so had nowhere to escape to. They fell into warring with each other for control of precious fuel or water reserves, and would have died out completely had it not been for the timely arrival of the Hanar. The Hanar are a Citadel race who discovered Rakana and the Drell in 1980 CE, in the midst of this crisis. They leapt to the aid of the Drell, helping to evacuate almost 400,000 of them from their dying homeworld over the following 10 years. However, those billions left behind died soon afterwards, as diminishing resources and escalating wars finally drove them to extinction. Those lucky few who had been rescued in time by the Hanar were transported to their homeworld, Kaji. To honour their life debt, the survivors made a binding agreement with the Hanar called the Compact, which promised the services of the Drell to the Hanar whenever they would be required. In the 200 years between then and the start of the games, the Drell have integrated fully into Hanar society and the galactic community as a whole. They are still a numerically small group, however, and so are usually a very minor player in most galactic affairs. Secondly, anatomy, a physical description of the Drell. The Drell are reptilian, but stand up straight on 2 legs, with an appearance very similar to that of humans. That said, there are several clear differences though, such as that their 3rd and 4th fingers are fused together, and that they have 2 sets of eyelids for each eye. Drell also have ridged, scaly skin, which is usually a shade of green, as well as layered reddish skin around their necks. Their skin is partially covered with a weak toxin, an old evolutionary defense mechanism which causes mild hallucinations if ingested. Drell also evolved to have incredibly powerful memories, being able to recall events and information in almost perfect detail. Having adapted to live on the desert world of Rakana, the Drell find themselves unsuited to life on Kaji, which has 90% of its surface covered by oceans. The humid climate is too much for the Drell, the excessive water content of the atmosphere damaging their lungs. Long-term exposure reduces the ability of a Drell's blood to carry oxygen, and results in a terminal condition where their vital organs begin to shut down. This condition is known as Keprel syndrome, and is the leading cause of death for Drell on Kaji. Thirdly, military, an assessment of the Drell's strength. Although roughly equal to humans in size and shape, Drell have denser muscle tissues and are therefore deceptively strong. That said, Drell are not as durable as many of the beefier races in the games, and have to rely on their superior speed and agility in combat when fighting, say, Krogan or Batarians. The Drell are too numerically few to have a large-scale military, instead depending on small teams of highly skilled agents to strike key enemy targets. These specialists are selected at a very young age and trained in espionage, sabotage, and combat skills by the Hanar. Their rigorous training results in the Drell being some of the most skilled assassins and saboteurs in the galaxy, with incredible prowess in hand-to-hand combat, unrivaled weapons proficiency, and in many cases, awesome biotic abilities. The Drell keep too low of a profile to ever make themselves a target, and the protection of the Hanar, coupled with the fearsome reputation their agents have earned, has allowed the Drell to live in peace since their arrival into the galactic community. Finally, culture, a summary of Drell society. The majority of Drell remain on Kaji, most living within climate-controlled domed cities as protection against the humid atmosphere of the Hanar homeworld. There is a common misconception that the Drell make up a servile class under the Hanar, when in actual fact they live as citizens of equal status, having integrated fully into every level of Hanar society. Several thousand Drell are scattered across the galaxy, having travelled away from Kaji in search of adventure. These travellers tend to settle amongst other races, normally embracing the culture of their host species. As a result, much of Drell culture has died out, as younger members of the species grow up amongst communities of other races. Many Drell have therefore abandoned their old gods, and have adopted the religions and philosophies of species such as the Hana or Asari. Most still cling to their belief in the separation of the body and soul, however. They believe that the body can be directed to act independently of the soul, and are so able to easily absolve themselves of responsibility for actions which they carried out whilst under orders. Only a few thousand Drell now live permanently on Rakana. For the most part, their homeworld is a cemetery to the fallen civilization, and a site of pilgrimage for many Drell who return each year to mourn those who could not be saved. So, that's the Drell. Now bear in mind that this isn't a definitive summary, but we do hope that you've learned something new regardless. Please like the video if you've enjoyed, comment any suggestions, and subscribe for more. I've been H2Acon, and I'll see you next time.